My name's Emily Berger. I am 22 years old and I am a photographer. Growing up, I had a pretty normal childhood, I would say. Great childhood. My parents were awesome. Did normal kid stuff. When I got to high school, that's when I got into photography, and I just decided to take it because I thought it would be fun. And at my high school, you had to take a semester of journalism, and if you did good in it, you would get accepted to branch out and do broadcast, digital print, photography. And so after I took the journalism class, I got accepted to do photography, and I didn't have a camera, so I'd have to borrow one from school. And we had little point and shoot cameras, and I would go to music festivals or concerts, and I would bring that camera with me because you couldn't bring a big camera with a detachable lens at music festivals and stuff. And I would use that point and shoot camera to take photos of bands, and I'd post them on my Tumblr. And I just did it for myself because I liked it, and I just loved getting a moment when someone's singing a song and they just make an emotional face while they're singing, and just getting that moment, posting it. And then after I'd post it, I got discovered by a company called Sonic Ambulance based out in the Bay Area of California. And so they hired me to write and take photos for them. So then when I was around 15, 16, I started going to shows as a photographer and got to actually bring a camera. So that's when I got my first camera. Absolutely. My teachers in high school, and especially my photography teacher, were my best friends in high school. I talked to them about everything, even advice, personal stuff, and they motivated me to keep doing what I'm doing and see that this is something I really enjoy, because I didn't know what I wanted to do at all growing up. And so I started taking photography, and I had my photography teacher, and they started taking me to contests and competitions and conferences, and many times where I was working on portfolios and I just wanted to stop because it was so hard, or I just thought I was bad at it, and I thought that my image just looked awful. They always supported me, and I really looked up to that, and I still text them to this day. And whenever I have a show where I show some photos or anything like that, they'll come drive up to Denton to see it. So I love my photography teachers and even my photography professors at UNT. They definitely inspired me to keep doing it. I mean, in general, I would say my favorite thing that I've done as a photographer was getting to go on tour with the band, because it was everything I loved doing mixed in one. It was traveling, it was concert photography, and it was also candid photos and documentary photos. And I majored in photojournalism and not photography for that reason. I like documenting moments more than I like setting up a scene. And so being able to go on tour and work with musicians and travel around and see all these cool places and take photos of people doing, their professions and their dreams, and capturing those moments of them on stage happy. I loved documenting that. I've actually thought about this a lot, because I try and think of, why would someone want to hire me as opposed to another photographer? And it all comes down to different styles and stuff. Both can be good photographers, but which one style do you like the most? With me, I think because I have a background of taking photography and I guess taking 2D studio art design is what the full name is called. Taking that and learning extensive Photoshop and how to manipulate a photo and how to make it look really crazy and really cool. But then also taking photojournalism, where it's the complete opposite. You don't edit photos like that. It has to be very that moment. You don't change the colors. It's documentation. If you change a lot of it, then it's not documentation. It doesn't work. Having both those backgrounds, I feel when I do photo shoots that are posed, sometimes, you'll have a moment where they laugh for a quick second and you get that photo. Not many people would use that photo because they're headshots. They want someone that's modeling. But I love the random photo where they laugh real quick, or they're about to say something and their mouth's like this. And like, a lot of times people hate that photo because their mouth's perched. But I look at it and I'm like, oh, but it was like a really good moment. It wasn't posed, it was just there. So I'll take those moments I've learned from photojournalism, but also, change the coloring and do cool lighting so I've learned from photography. So I think with me as a photographer, you kind of get both sides depending on, if you want a fun documentation photo or if you want a really crazy edited photo. So I am moving to New York, Brooklyn to be exact. I get asked a lot, am I moving there for a job? And no, I don't have a job. I'm moving there because I've lived in Texas for almost 23 years, and I want to experience somewhere else. I'm not looking for a permanent place. I just want to live in my 20s somewhere and have fun. Now, when I get there, will I search like no other for a job? Absolutely. I don't want to be miserable living there. But I'm not going there for like any one sole specific reason besides the fact that I just want to. And I picked that place. I decided to go to New York because I have 3 friends that are going with me, so that made it cheaper. And although I don't have a set job, I do have really good connections out there. And so people that I've worked with before that now work at big publications out there. So I feel like it's a good place where I could get my foot in the door and start. I just figured, why not? I saved up the money to do it. I don't have a job here right now in Texas. I just freelance. So I'm either going to stay here freelancing and waitressing, or I can go out there and freelance and waitress. The only difference is the coasts. What matters to me most in life would be, this is a long answer to a loaded question, I'll tell you that. What matters most to me in life is probably not trying to let the stigmas and perceptions of what life is supposed to be stop me from doing what I want to do in life. And that goes back to me moving to New York without having a job. And a lot of people always freak out when I tell them I don't have a job and they tell me I'm stupid. Why does that matter? Because like I said, I'm just doing freelance out here. There's no difference, right? I want to do the things that I want to do and that will make me happy. And I feel like that's something in general a lot of people want. But I think a lot of people hold themselves back, not even just because of fears, but because of this idea of how life is supposed to be. You go to high school, graduate high school, you get into college, graduate, you get a job, you get married, you have kids, that's life, right? I mean, generically, that's, what people do. And I think that people have this idea that right when you graduate, you have to have your dream job, or when you're 27, 28, if you're not in a long-term relationship, then no one likes you and you're going to be alone forever. These stigmas and ideas that these people have keep them from living the life that they want to live. Who fucking cares if you don't get a job right when you graduate? No one really does. And who cares if you haven't been in a long-term relationship by the time you're 30? You had a great fucking roaring 20s then. I don't know. So I guess that's what matters to me most in life, is making sure I'm doing something that I want to do and not what I think I'm supposed to be doing.